Dustin Porier versus Benoit Saint Denis, Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. I was leaning towards Benoit Saint Denis and Charles Oliveira, but now I'm going to stick to Benoit Saint Denis by alternating between Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan. Benoit Saint Denis' favourite weapon is the left kick to the open side, which he uses against orthodox fighters. But now he's going to fight a fellow southpaw in Dustin Porier. So that's going to be neutralised. That weapon is going to be taken away from him. So it's going to be interesting to see if he comes up with different solutions. And Benoit Saint Denis has two X factors going for him: wrestling and youth. Dustin Porier is getting up there in age, and older fighters usually don't perform that well. But at the same time, it's not like Colby Covington, because Colby Covington was already talking about becoming a politician and becoming president, and his head was in a different place, and he had 2 years of inactivity. Whereas Dustin Porier has been active, his head isn't fighting, he thinks about fighting solely. So maybe the aging factor won't be as bad. But he did just get knocked out in his last fight, so who knows. And Benoit Saint Denis knocked out the man who knocked out the man who knocked out the men. He knocked out Matt Frevola, who knocked out Giga Chad Drew Dober, who was knocking out everyone. So you know Benoit Saint Denis is a man's man. And if Benoit Saint Denis is around the same level of Dustin Porier in his fighting ability, given these X factors, you should give Benoit the edge. Now, is he as good as Dustin Porier? Well, he finishes all of his opponents. He finished the hyped up prospect, the Bonfim brother, who had the flying knee knockout, and he knocked out Matt Frevola. He finished Matt Frevola, and he finished the Bonfim brother, and pretty much everyone else. So there is a good chance that he is that good. And Arman Tsarukyan versus Charles Oliveira. I was leaning towards Charles, but I heard an interview with Arman and Daniel Cormier, and he speaks about himself with such conviction and belief that he's got me convinced he's going to win. And he trains with Dustin Porier, and he wanted to fight Dustin Porier, but he said Dustin didn't want that fight. So for him to spar with Dustin Porier and know that he must know that he gets the better of him, that if he wants that fight, which means he's got a good chance versus Oliveira. And I want to talk about Joe Pyfer breaking Francis Ngannou's record on the punch machine. I don't know if the machine was broken, but the way Sean Brady's told the story, it was like he believed that Joe Pyfer broke the record, which means Joe Pyfer conveyed the story in a way that showed that he believed he broke Francis Ngannou's record. So for him to be like, yeah, that sounds about right, I did break Ngannou's record. Even if the machine was broken, for him to believe in his power that much, that's interesting in and of itself. And Tom Aspinall might fight Brock Lesnar at UFC 300. It sounds like a gimmicky fight, but it's exciting nonetheless. And that would be a good highlight reel knockout for Tom Aspinall to have. And Brock Lesnar might not be much of a threat given his age, but then again, probably no one in the division is much of a threat for Tom Aspinall. He is just that good. Like and subscribe.